In the whirlwind of modern life, it can feel like we are constantly juggling thoughts of the past and the future, with the present moment slipping away unnoticed. From the moment we wake up until we fall asleep, our minds are flooded with what-ifs and could-have-beens, leaving us disconnected from the world around us. Imagine standing on a busy street, surrounded by a sea of people rushing by, yet your mind is miles away. This is the reality for many of us, caught between the memories of yesterday and the worries of tomorrow. But what if we told you that peace and happiness don't lie in the past or future? What if instead, the key to unlocking your inner peace resides in the present moment, the only time we truly control? Buddhism offers us timeless wisdom to help navigate these turbulent mental storms. The teachings of the Buddha remind us to live in the moment, embrace the impermanence of life, and free ourselves from the mental clutter that keeps us trapped in cycles of overthinking. In this journey toward inner peace, we will explore practical steps you can take to stop overthinking and start living fully in the present. Through mindfulness, simplicity, and understanding impermanence, we can dissolve the worries that plague us, leaving us with a calmer, more peaceful mind. 1. Live in the present moment. Imagine standing on a busy street, feeling the breeze against your face. There's a world around you, but your mind is racing with thoughts about the past and future. People are hurrying by, cars are honking, and yet your thoughts are elsewhere, thinking about something you did yesterday or worrying about what might happen tomorrow. This is the reality for so many of us in the modern world. We're constantly pulled between the past and future, and the present moment slips by unnoticed. The Buddha reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have. When we obsess over past regrets or future fears, we miss out on the beauty and peace of now. The first step toward inner peace is learning to embrace the present moment as the only reality we can control. Living in the present is not just a concept, but a practical tool for happiness. By letting go of the baggage of the past and the uncertainty of the future, we unlock the peace that is always available to us. Personal story. A friend of mine once shared how he spent years regretting past decisions and worrying about the future. His constant mental chatter kept him from truly enjoying his life. He was always concerned about what could have been and what might happen next. His anxiety was so overwhelming that even the simple pleasures of life, like a walk in the park or a meal with friends, felt like obligations instead of experiences to savor. It wasn't until he started practicing mindfulness and embracing the present moment that he began to experience real peace. He would take walks without his phone, simply feeling the air on his skin and listening to the sounds around him. His focus on being fully present in the moment helped him realize that the past was already gone and that the future hadn't happened yet. Gradually, his worries started to fade, and he began to appreciate the little things like the warmth of the sun or the sound of birds chirping. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but over time, his constant worry began to dissolve. This shift allowed him to find joy in the present moment, and he began to live with a sense of calm and purpose. In a world where distractions are endless, living in the present moment can seem like a challenge, but it is a practice that brings profound transformation. Meditation and mindfulness are tools that help us become more aware of our thoughts and guide us back to the present. By being conscious of each breath and each step, we develop a deeper connection to the here and now, which is the only time that truly exists. As we learn to focus on the present, overthinking naturally fades into the background, and we become more attuned to the peace that is always available to us. 2. Thoughts are like clouds. Have you ever watched the sky on a windy day? The clouds constantly shift and change, never staying the same for long. This is how we should view our thoughts. Thoughts like clouds come and go. Sometimes they are light and fluffy, while at other times they are dark and stormy. But just like the weather, they are impermanent. They do not define us, and the more we cling to them, the more we suffer. Buddhism teaches that by allowing thoughts to pass without attachment, we free ourselves from the storm in our minds. Personal story. A woman I know struggled with anxiety and often felt overwhelmed by her thoughts. She found it hard to let go of them, constantly analyzing situations and predicting outcomes. Her mind was a whirlwind of what-ifs and maybes. The constant chatter created a sense of unease that left her unable to enjoy life. She would lie awake at night, replaying scenarios over and over in her mind, hoping for a solution to come, but none ever did. Through meditation, she learned to treat her thoughts like clouds, acknowledging them without attaching to them. She would visualize each thought as a cloud drifting across the sky of her mind. Over time, she found that her anxiety diminished, and she could observe her thoughts without feeling controlled by them. She began to realize that not every thought required her attention or action. By letting go of the need to control or hold onto each thought, she found herself feeling lighter and more at peace. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become consumed by our thoughts, but as we cultivate mindfulness, we learn that thoughts are not permanent. They arise and then they fade away. The key is not to identify with them or allow them to dictate our emotions. By observing our thoughts from a distance, without judgment or attachment, we regain our power. We are not our thoughts, we are the observers of them. This shift in perspective allows us to create mental space and break free from the cycle of overthinking. 3. Overthinking creates suffering. It's easy to believe that the more we think, the more we understand. After all, our minds are designed to analyze and solve problems. However, Buddhism teaches us that excessive thinking often leads to suffering. Our minds can become a battleground, constantly waging war over past mistakes, future uncertainties, and the present moment's imperfections. By trying to control things beyond our reach, we only add to our stress. The key to overcoming overthinking is learning to let go of the need for control and accepting what is. Personal story. I had a colleague who always tried to predict every outcome and control every situation at work. He was meticulous, often spending hours planning every detail, but his overthinking led to burnout and frustration. He once shared with me that he felt the weight of the world on his shoulders, trying to manage every possible scenario. His constant worry about the future made him anxious and, ironically, less productive. I suggested he try letting go and accepting the unpredictability of life. Not everything is within your control, I told him. Sometimes you need to trust the process and allow things to unfold naturally. It took time for him to embrace this idea, but as he began to surrender control and trust the flow of life, he found a sense of freedom. He stopped overthinking every small detail and allowed himself to be present. His work improved and his stress levels decreased. He began to realize that overthinking only created more problems, it never solved them. The Buddha teaches that suffering does not arise from the events in our lives, but from our reaction to them. When we overthink and obsess over things we cannot change, we invite unnecessary pain into our lives. Letting go of the need for control allows us to release this suffering. It is through acceptance, rather than resistance, that we find peace. 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully aware of the present moment without judgment. One of the simplest ways to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breath. In moments of overwhelm, returning to your breath can help you regain focus and calm your mind. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you train your mind to stay grounded in the present, reducing overthinking and fostering inner peace. Personal story: a friend of mine who struggled with chronic stress found relief through mindfulness. She had a demanding job, and her mind was constantly racing with worries about deadlines, meetings, and personal responsibilities. The stress began to take a toll on her health and well-being. She decided to set aside a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness. Initially, her mind would wander, and she would find herself lost in thoughts about the past or future. But she didn't give up. She continued to return to her breath, focusing on each inhale and exhale. Gradually, she became better at staying present. Her stress began to subside, and she found it easier to focus on the task at hand. She also started practicing mindful walking and mindful eating, activities that allowed her to connect with the present moment more deeply. Mindfulness is not just about formal meditation. It's about integrating presence into every aspect of life. Whether you're doing the dishes, driving to work, or having a conversation, mindfulness can help you stay grounded in the present moment. By focusing on the here and now, you can reduce the mental clutter that leads to overthinking and cultivate a calm and peaceful mind. 5. Simplicity is freedom. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the complexity of life, our relationships, work, social media, and daily demands. However, Buddhism teaches that simplicity is the key to true happiness. By letting go of unnecessary worries and distractions, we can focus on what truly matters. Simplicity allows us to eliminate mental clutter and find freedom from the overthinking that traps us in a cycle of stress. Personal story: another acquaintance of mine lived a fast-paced life, constantly juggling multiple projects and feeling the pressure to succeed. He always had a long to-do list and was constantly on the move, trying to keep up with the demands of modern life. The stress was taking a toll on his health, and he began to feel disconnected from his true desires and values. After a life-changing event, he decided to simplify his life. He decluttered his home, reduced his commitments, and focused on spending quality time with family and friends. He cut back on social media and made a conscious effort to slow down. The simplicity of his life brought him peace. He found himself less burdened by the complexities of the modern world. The lesson here is clear: simplicity is freedom. When we strip away the unnecessary distractions and focus on what truly matters, we create space for peace and clarity. By letting go of the excess, we free our minds from overthinking and open ourselves up to the joys of simplicity.